Oh! Huh. Hello everyone, this is Zipzo, and I'm here to show you the Photon Saber multi-gun build. I think? Yes, Photon Saber multi-gun. Yep, that's what the poll said. Okay, I don't know if you're making that vote out of jest, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna follow the rules. I'm gonna do it anyway because I can do anything. So, first of all, first thing of note, Photon Saber multi-gun is probably heavily dependent when you're fighting normal mobs, not super bosses, on status effects. The best build for large monsters and just general daily usage, you're going to be using Topple and Shock. I mean, the multi-gun has barely any arts anyway, and most of them are status effects. So you're going to make sure you have Resistance Reducer XX. You're going to have to learn how to farm this augment. If you want to use this combination, it's pretty important that you use Resistance Reducer. So, another thing worth noting is this is a Topple Lock build. This will not be usable on super bosses, but I have a different build for that. So technically I'm going to show you two builds. That being said, let's take a gander at my gear. So it's important to note that gear is actually not going to be super important to all of the builds that I show you in this series. So yes, my gear is pretty good in a lot of cases, because I've spent a lot of time on it, but it's actually not going to be super necessary for you to be able to replicate this build. Now, however, there is something that is important, that is Arts TP Gain XX. You're going to want at least a few of these. They're really helpful for making your TP income safe in battle, which you'll need to kind of run Infinite Overdrive, which is kind of something you always want when you're taking on huge, terrifying monsters. There's only one multi-gun in the game, so you don't really have much choice, and my electric Photon Saber is actually poopy, so yours is probably better than mine. So yeah, there's really not much else to the gear. I mean, the most important thing is you can stack potential to make your TP arts better. I mean, in general, since you're Topple locking, it really doesn't matter what your defenses are. So yeah, Resistance Reducer XX, obviously the most important thing for a status effect build. You're gonna want at least one of these, if not more, depending on what you're trying to kill. So yeah, with that, let's move on to the... So obviously Boost Barrel, the best skill that the multi-gun has. You're going to want to use that. It's better than the Photon Saber's auras, basically. So it's a really good pick. You have SS Exchange. This helps you get full TP bar if you have max health, which you should during super boss fights if you have the right resistances. Very useful skill. Astral Purge helps you get free TP because it has immediate reuse as a tertiary, and also gets rid of sneaky debuffs that will kill you sometimes in super bosses. Like on Telethia, for example, if I didn't cleanse other resistance down, she would kill me. So a debuff is generally always really helpful to have on your skill bar, especially for super bosses. Next would be the Topple, and this is the multi-guns Topple. Its damage is not really important. You can combo into it with the Shock move, but really most of your damage is going to come out of the Photon Saber, the multi-gun being the utility aspect of this build. So there's the Shock move as well, because you're going to be using Conductive Strike to take advantage of the damage you get when your enemy is shocked. So like I said, status effects. Yeah! So after that, we're going to have a melee ability to help combo into Starlight Duster, and of course we have the Galactic Cataclysm. So this is a very TP heavy build, which is why it's important to have good ways to get income and TP, like SS Exchange and immediate reuse Astral Purges with TP arting. So anyways, now we're going to take a look at my skills here. I've got Conductive Strike, Aura, Soul, Supreme Sword, Secondary Accelerator, and of course the Long Topple. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, just maxing my damage out as much as possible, and that's really all there is to this build. You're going to see it's quite simple to run, and so now I'm going to go punch some monsters in the face with it and just kind of show you generally how it works when you're fighting monsters. So use Exodus Exchange, you get a free full TP bar. It is always nice to do. So I'm just going to run up here and always open with the topple. I like to open with the topple. Boom. Hit the shock. And then pop overdrive. Hit your aura. And then just kind of start your combo with your Photon Saber. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. So when the mob gets up, you're going to want to blast them with another topple. Oh, and actually I took some damage right there. Clearly very inexperienced with this build. Oh well. So, yeah, took him out. I should have been more quick with the retopple. Took some damage, but generally that's kind of how it goes. A very large monster, but easily fell with the multi-gun Photon Saber. Let's try a Tersquall here. So we want to walk up to this Tersquall. So open with the topple. Oh, he flinched me, so he's probably going to hit me. So open with the topple, and it resisted. So clearly Tersqualls have high resistance. And yeah, that's why it's good to have a lot. So the shock landed. Let's see if this next topple lands. Okay, it landed. So now I can start my combo. Okay, he died rather quickly. So the Tersquall, while more resistant, still not quite as formidable as he needs to be against the multi-gun Photon Saber. So in order to do him, I would need to put on another resistance reducer. So just to be safe, why don't we just put that on just in case I get resisted any other time by other monsters. So let's try. Let's do another Coronid, actually. So there's one way over there. So let's just run on over there. You know, your character does a lot of running. I wonder if you get tired in this game. If they had a stamina bar, wouldn't that make the game such shit? Okay, so let's try starting with the topple again. Pacha! Now let's get shock going. Alright, hit overdrive. Oh, it's not activating. Okay, there we go. Get into the aura mode. Let's go ahead and retopple because that took a while. And now let's start the combo. That's a very strong move, especially at max counter Galactic Cataclysm moves. So, oops, I didn't kill him, but let's retopple him just to kind of... Oh, well, the topple move killed him anyway. So, yeah, quite powerful. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It works. It works. Everything works. Just gotta do the right thing. Let's try on a service here. Let's get full TP here. Alright, open with the topple. Overdrive, like, activates very slowly after the topple. I don't know why. Okay, so, there we go. Now I can start my combo. And I see he's going to die really quickly. So, oops. So the multi-gun is actually useful for disabling your opponents and shocking them, which is helpful for conductive strike builds that want to take advantage of the 300% conductive strike. So yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to it on normal mobs. So now I think you want to see me fight something big. So let's go up and get ready to fight who I'd like to call Luxar's punching bag. So now it seems as though I've arrived in front of what I'd like to call Luxar's punching bag. I like to practice on Luxar's punching bag because his resistance requirements are not as stiff as other tyrants, and he's not as high of a time commitment as well. So for super bosses, it changes a little bit. Okay, so these are the resistances in the bottom right. You can see you're going to want to be able to survive Luxar's zone, and I've changed my augments, as you can see, to resistances in order to be able to survive. And I've changed a few pieces of gear to resistance pieces. Now all super bosses are going to require this sort of dedication to wear the right gear in order to survive them. And I farmed a lot of gear, so unfortunately this is the part where you cannot pick up and play. You need to go out and you need to farm the gear for it. But it's okay. You'll see that I have a few of each type of resistance augment in order to reach that. So, yeah, I think the skills are a little bit different as well. Instead of electric, I'm going with Core Crusher because I'm using an Ether Photon Saber instead. And I just went full damage, and yep. So, yeah, I think we're just going to get started here and show you how to kill a super boss using the build that you guys voted after I show you my arts. So I switched out the topple with Sniper Barrel, just an extra move to do to gain extra TP. Otherwise it's mostly the same. I switched out the shock move also for another Photon Saber art. So yeah, I think now I'm going to get started.